Look at that, dude. We are on time, probably for the first time in I I'm not gonna say ever, but I think we've been on time maybe twice in the 6 years that we've done this show.
That's a stretch, but yeah, we're on it tonight.
And we've got a whole 7 eyeballs in the room right now. Facebook is not being very user friendly right now. It's taking forever to load, or it's not loading at all, so I can't pin it. Um, but guys, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks since our last show. What was our last show, Justin? What was that?
Oh, it's been right after I moved over to Chenier,
Hey,
so maybe a month ago.
yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
What did we talk about? I don't even. What was it? Was that
Oh,
was that Travis's show or Charlie's?
but it was Charlie's show, yeah.
Okay, so that was the last one then, huh? When we announced the Cal Allen head coach, or we not announced, but we had the interview with Charlie Reeve. Yeah, James, we're working on it, man. Uh, Justin's got it looking like an old silverback over there, and I'm kind of
I'm about to start dyeing mine, dude. I'm
working
gonna
on
start
this thing,
dyeing
dude. So I asked the wife about that. I was like, should I dye the mustache? Because there's a lot of gray in here, and she essentially said I'd be trying too hard. So I will not be dyeing.
You know one thing about Becca that I love? She keeps it real, dude. She does not spare
Oh, no way,
feelings.
dude. She does not pull any punches, dude. It's there and it's brutal. But guys, it's good to be back. A lot of stuff's happened since the last time we had that show with Coach Reeve. He actually hired a couple coordinators. Um, in the offensive coordinator from Chapel Hill and
Yep.
the defensive coordinator from Smith and Valley, both playing for titles last year. I don't know if were they. Do you know if anybody's listening? Do you know if these guys were the actual coordinators or were they assistants and they're getting promoted to coordinators? I hadn't really talked to Coach Reeve when I reached out to him. Man, a couple of weeks ago, I guess these were the guys he had in mind. He said, "I've got a couple targets. I haven't named them yet, and they both played for state titles last year." And he brought them out, man. He did what he said he was going to do, and he landed them. And I guess it's not too hard when you've got that brand behind you, right, to get some guys down here. But
Yeah, I mean, I thought those were pretty good hires. I like the defensive coordinator hire a little bit more maybe than the offensive coordinator hire. Uh, the OC, depending on what Reeves does, dude, that's a way different athlete, right? And I was just up in that
yes,
area. I went up Saturday. Me and my brother-in-law, we talk football all the time, and that's one of our things is he gets to see Chapel Hill a lot. And I mean, just some of the athletes that Chapel Hill gets at their disposal is it'd be it's a Miller esque type of offense they run, and you have to have a lot of athletes for that kind of offense. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings down. A lot of experience. I think that they definitely built a good staff. I thought Reeve was a good hire for Cal anyway, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that all intertwines. And then of course it's probably not that difficult getting in some good OCs because it is Cal Allen, and that's a good brand to be able to say, hey, I wouldn't work. I mean, I think the OC put in his deal. He's going to one of the household names in high school football. In his exit post. So
yeah.
it's gonna be interesting. It'll be a fun team to watch. We'll get to see it right off the rip too. So
So we've got I'm not gonna. We have a Timu group. That's all I'm gonna say. That we it's a group message we've got, and we've got a few heads in that group message, and talking about the DC from Smithson Valley. I'm just going to kind of dumb down the philosophy here. They run a 4-3, but with split field coverage, which allows them to do a lot of stuff with it without having to move a lot of people around. It's good stuff. Uh, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see, right? Not a lot of movement around. So does that kind of, I guess, cover for the lack of athleticism or the comparable athletes? Maybe.
no, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
team
So
group. That's funny. They made an appearance. Huh?
yeah.
Let's see, hey, if
See
they're,
if they're
they're
watching.
actually watching though.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. What else? So somebody just chimed in here a little bit. Manuel Reyes. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw our social media post today that we shared from Coach Evans over at Miller. We heard about this. Man, when did we have
Dude, probably like 4 or 5 months ago, I think.
the
Because
last time we had Coach Evans on the show? Um, he he whispered something to us that they were going to switch to all Nike uniforms, and they were going to get the Jumpman stuff on there. And sure enough, we kind of forgot about it. And then he posted it today, and with the help of AC Williams, who made the graphic for it. And yeah, sure enough, they are going to the Jumpman Jordan uniforms, and I think they're the first school in the area that's got the Jordan brand. A couple of schools in the Valley have. We know Harlingen had it when we went down there for that game, the Battle of the Arroyo. Right, they wore those whites, the kind of grayish whites
Yeah.
looking. And then I think San Benito had the Jumpmans too, right?
No, not that. Not the time when we went down. They didn't have the Jumpmans, but and actually, I don't think Harlingen did because Harlingen were the black ones the
That's
that week.
right.
But it was the year after they got the Jumpmans, and I think it's got the elephant print. That's what we liked about it.
Yeah.
Has an elephant print on the sleeves. They're clean, man. They're freaking. I like the Jumpman brand stuff. It's good. I think it'll be cool with Miller. I've been that the Adidas brand has killed me for the last couple of years, having to watch them tote that freaking mustard gold yellow out there, dude. I just wasn't. It looks like this, man. I hated it. I
You know,
like the
I
black uniforms they came with, so
I
I'm
don't
excited
like
to see what Nike and Jumpman always goes hard, dude. So
I don't
I
like
think
the gold look on uniforms, on pants and stuff. It doesn't look right. Not on the material. You know what I mean?
the
It
only team
doesn't
that's
look
ever
right.
been able to really pull it off is Notre Dame, and that's
Yeah.
still like they have uniforms that come out and you're like, my brother-in-law, Notre Dame guy, and he's like, oh, that was horrible. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's hard to get that gold just right.
Yeah. Yeah, favorite Miller uniforms. I like the black ones, dude. The black ones they
All
had that
black
year
ones
that they're not allowed to wear anymore. Those were sharp, dude. So that year that they wore those were excellent. I'd still like to see them pull off, instead of it saying Miller on the chest, the North,
yeah.
or something like that. I'd still love, but I guess the Alumni Association has a lot of say in what they do. So that's they shot down the black uniforms from what I'm told. It wasn't CCISD. I think there'd been comments about that CCISD said they couldn't wear it.
Is
I
it
think
alum-
I think it stems from the Alumni Association. Yeah. So
Which kind
so
of bothers me because where's that association been up until now? You know what I mean? Like pretty quiet
yeah,
up until the last like 7 years.
until the
It
Evans era.
bothers me, man. Like it's a whole new brand they got going on there. Let them wear the black uniforms, dude. It's just part of it. Like let
Yeah.
them wear 'em.
Yeah,
I like.
it's different times. Did you see, and I'm gonna get a little hipster on you guys here. Did you see the ACL lineup for this year? It just dropped last week. I think
You
last
told me
Tuesday.
about it, and I forgot about it.
Yeah. Uh some pretty interesting. Sturgill Simpson's gonna headline one night. Chris Stapleton's gonna headline a night. Dua Lipa's headlining a night. The Red Clay Strays are playing the second weekend. Blink 182 is headlining, I think, the first night, Friday night.
See, I would like to
Um,
go see Blink.
yeah, we kind of talked about this the other day, right? So Blink's on tour right now, right?
Mhm.
Because they were coming through San Antonio. They were gonna play at the Frost Center, right? And I think the tickets to that thing were pretty close to $300, right?
Well, remember, I wanted to sell the Zach Bryan tickets and then pay for my Blink 182 tickets, for basically go to Blink 182 for free. But Zach Bryan doesn't allow you to sell tickets. Don't ever buy his tickets. He's phony. So just in case
You
you're
know what?
aware, if I want you to buy those tickets, don't do it.
I
Just back.
hear he's not really great live. That's
Wouldn't
what I've
surprise
heard.
me, dude. There's a whole lot that's unraveling from this thing, dude, that I'm just
Yeah,
not a
I
fan of.
heard he's not really that great. I mean, I like his music, but I just hear he's not great live. But yes, for those prices you can play for the Blink 182 tickets, you can go see Blink 182 and a plethora of other bands. I think the tickets are like three something for the 3-day pass. I was trying to take the intern, but make him pay his own way because the intern's graduating next week. So, and he's got a job, so no more free rides, pal. He's almost off the payroll over here, But
Go visit him at Dairy Queen.
yeah, we'll figure out. We'll figure it out. Something else that popped up today actually just ended at 7 o'clock. Coach Campbell's official retirement party. Um,
For how long,
for-
though?
40 years, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
I
Is
heard some stuff at a baseball tournament like a couple weeks ago that said that he was just ready to get out of administration. That's not wasn't his ticket, right? He was, I think that wore him down a little bit, and then we thought like maybe a week, year off or so, and then hop back in it. But kind of interesting because I don't know that Flower Bluff's hired a DC yet, and I want to say he's got some connects to some of the Flower Bluff
Hey,
administration.
are you starting to light some fires, dude? Or
Dude, I'm like forced on fire. I want to get that going. I don't want to see it happen because Flower Bluff's already a tough draw, and he would have a
yeah,
lot of good stuff at his disposal.
yeah,
Being a Wildcat fan over here, but I had heard that was a possibility for him. So I don't know. I think it'd be a good fit if he really wanted to continue coaching. I think it'd be a pretty good fit.
yeah. We'll
It
see.
definitely help out the Bluff, because they promote their DC to head coach. Uh, Again, golly, why can I never think of the old head coach's name? Anyways, he was a DC. I think that's where him and Campbell go back. So I don't know, kind of interesting. Put a little,
Steinbrook or Andrus?
yeah, Steinbrook.
Oh,
If it's Andrews, he'd be going to Jordan. So
yeah. No, I just thought I didn't know which former head coach you were talking about. If you're talking about Andrus or Steinbrook.
I heard him and Steinberg go back. They have some ties. I think they're probably defensive DCs and whatnot like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Who
I'm gonna
knows?
tell
Maybe
you.
he stays retired.
Yeah, who knows, right? So that's the chatter going on along in the back rooms and the message boards. That believe it or not, those are still around. But yeah,
Really?
that's well, I think so, right? Maybe I don't know. So yeah, so congratulations to Coach Campbell on 40 years in education and athletics. Man, that's a very long time. And with the way coaches are kind of hopping out of the industry now, that will we see anymore? With
Yeah.
this last group of guys that have been around this long, will we see 40-year careers
Yeah.
in high school athletics or education? Right?
I think you'll still get a few dudes that just love it. But I mean, uh, that's a tough journey, man. It's just it's not set up for them to be living like real comfortable.
Yeah,
It's a tough job. A lot of job security is not always there, depending on where you go. So I don't know. In the way the things kind of shaking around then, a 40-year career nowadays with any job, honestly,
yeah,
is looking pretty hard. But that job, I think, would be a little more difficult.
yeah. Ask
Because
those
of the way
guys at Tesla. Yeesh.
shit, yeah, yeah. The way
Oh
they,
wow. But speaking of long careers, another retirement last Tuesday,
yep,
Monday.
yeah,
It was
no,
early last week. Coach
Tuesday, I
Chris
think.
Oza hanging it up after 39 years, and I
No,
think
it was Wednesday, right? Because didn't Eric accept the job Tuesday night at the meeting?
yeah. So was it the next day or it was pretty close? I have to
Wednesday
look.
or Thursday, one or the other.
I have to look at my texts and all that stuff. Yeah, but so Coach Souza hangs it up after 39 years, and I think it was 22 as a head coach, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe. 20. No, I think he had. I thought he had 28, 29 as a head coach.
Was it
Or
29? It was 20
no,
something, right? So he hangs it up for and kind of the things that we're talking about, Um if Chris Thomason from Channel 3 had he asked a hard question, asked about a secession plan and whatnot, and I guess there was a plan in place at Beeville, and it by the old administration, and maybe the new administration didn't want to honor that, or they're saying it didn't. Who knows, right? Um, but it was very it was a good interview. And I think Beeville, the community, is kind of up in arms right now about everything that's happening, and everything that's going on. So
rightfully so.
that
Rightfully so.
job that job has not officially been posted yet, but that will be popping up here pretty soon, very late in the year, which is it's kind of scary, right? As far as
I wanted to talk on that one because I was kind of busy when the conversation and the Timo was going. I think I put one text in, but it was real late at night. And my thing is and keep in mind this is the same man that yelled at me. Okay, yelled at me at his
you get
game
yelled at a lot, dude.
for being on his sideline. This is also the same man that was a bitter rival, coaching a bitter rival of ours. Went right in my junior high school era, right? So there's no love lost there. But the thing is for me, and I understand why the people, depending on what side you fall on in Beeville, are upset because to me, I always felt like Chris Sosa coached really well. He always had tough teams, no matter how maybe subpar his talent was on those teams. he would make that a hard grind out team. They probably win a game or two they weren't supposed to, and if not, they you weren't blowing them out. Teams that were good were good. You know, he went toe to toe with Lake Travis right there in their heyday with a young Eric. I think Eric might have been a sophomore or junior that year. They went toe to toe with him in the Alamo Dome. So you know, if you're Beeville, like I think Beeville has a bunch of good talent, a good
Yep.
hard nosed kids. They work their tails off. Like you don't really see them have like a long period of having losing streaks. But at the same time, man, like Chris Sosa was a big part of that the last decade or so of building that kind of program over there. And I think too, like when you have a guy like Chris waiting or Eric waiting in the wings, who's done so much, has a good resume, and you know if you're a Sosa fan and you see that kind of come to an end for you, yeah, that would be tough to take, you know, especially if you're not vibing well with what the administration's doing because, you know, that's a tough decision, right? It's a voted on decision, and you know, depending on where you fall, I could see people being up in arms. And you're right; it's late in the year. You're losing a really good coach who's been in the game for a long time over probably some very minor things that could have been fixed. So I don't know. I feel for the hardcore Beeville fans that liked Chris. I feel for us and the rest of South Texas because that was a good coach to have. That's another good team we get to follow down here. You know, last 2 years they made a good little playoff run. They beat Cal Allen. The year before they knocked off Alice. Sorry, Sergio. Right? Or no. They knocked
Oh,
off what?
that was Port Lavaca.
Oh yeah, it was PLC. But still, like they made good runs. Like
Yeah.
and I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think Beeville kids will be fine, but it kind of stinks to see some of the older heads in this area. You know, they're drifting out of here, man.
Yeah.
Campbell, Sosa, Danaher, lots of them. They're moving on, man. We're kind of hitting that next era, and
Yeah.
it's kind of sad to see a little bit.
So there was that one, and we will say congratulations, Coach Souza, on your retirement and a career, man. Now it's time to hang it up and watch the grandkids, and now it's time to watch Eric, right?
Yeah, Eric's
So
turn.
so we've kind of hit on that already. So Eric Souza took over the job in Rockport, which was again another late kind of go round, on getting somebody in. They stayed away from the search firm. You froze, Justin.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, no, you're better now. You unfroze.
Oh,
Um,
it's because I was laughing at Lavelle in the comment section. He
yeah,
keeps me.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah, so Eric takes over a Rockport program that's coming off, kind of licking their wounds as a program coming off of last year as a football program. Um, mixed reviews on Coach Bible down there and what was going on, and how he ran it. You heard some folks that liked it. You heard a lot of folks that didn't. We've got a lot of coach friends that are in the area, that are out of the area, and we've heard grumblings since the season last year on things that were happening out there. So I don't know, man. So Eric walks in. They're excited. They're excited about seeing Eric over there. He's excited about getting fired. He took over that Friday, so he got hired on a Tuesday and started that Friday. So he's already there, boots on the ground, and he's getting that program going. Um, so best of luck to Rockport. A lot of folks have saying that the Rockport's kind of a sleeping giant. I think folks forget about what Jay did while he was there. They were a missed 2-point conversion from potentially, right. We're playing the games of what if, right? That
Yeah,
Wimberley team they lost to in the playoffs by a 2-point conversion. Essentially on the last play of the game, that Wimberley team ended up going to state. Um,
dude. The play was there. Kid missed the block, and the kid didn't hit the right hole.
because he slipped. The kid slipped.
Kid slipped,
Yeah,
missed the
and
block, or no, it's either he hit the wrong hole or the play was there,
yeah.
you know, and it was a bang bang bang, and it just happened, and that was because that was what Loudermilk, right? Or I'm not sure. I can't remember which one.
Loudermilk, I think, was a standout back then, so it may have been Loudermilk.
Either way, man, it was one of those things. You know, you went for it and didn't get it, but hey, it is what it is. He also, I mean, yeah, no, Jay did a good thing there, dude. I think he's right now the all time winningest coach at Rockport history.
Yep.
Uh, Same thing with Chris. Even on their down years, tough teams, they always have kids that want to fight. You know, so I think that Eric hire is you nailed it in the group text, like spot on, man. Like you said, he's already there on a Friday. You know, he's young. The kids are going to get behind him. They're coming off kind of a weird little 1 year era right there. I think with just a guy that wasn't vibing with the community or kind of how things have been going. Eric's from here, you know. There's going to be some fun there with Beeville because that's a little mini rivalry that don't get talked about a lot.
Yeah.
when they do play each other, especially in junior high. So I think that's going to be a pretty good bounce back era for Rockport right there. I really
Yeah.
do.
So I'm interested. They're gonna run the same offense they ran in Beeville, except they're gonna throw when they need to. Essentially, the offense that Eric's been a part of for a very long time, grew up with, played in, and coached with. So he was telling me that he doesn't know if the slot T Mafia will completely accept them because they will be throwing here and there as needed. But I mean, it's going to be a run based offense and pass as needed. Some other moves that happened. Three Rivers, a little shuffle there. Brett Cornegie moves over from Orange Grove to Three Rivers, so he took over there. Congratulations, Coach K. And in to take his spot at Orange Grove was a 1990 alumni, Jared Johnson, who was kind of a all everything down there at Orange Grove. He's an alumni, like I said. I think he went out to play in Louisiana at an FCS school back in the day. Um, so they've got him taking over. They're pretty fired up about Coach Johnson being there. I dropped the ball on that one. He was in town last week. He can't start until late in the summer due to his contract and whatnot. But he's the former, or I guess he's still the current head coach at Schertz Clemens. He
Head
was an off.
coach or was he the
He was the head
was he
coach. He was a head coach at Clemens.
okay?
He was an offensive assistant and a coordinator at Steel. He helped start the Steel program. He's been 20 something years in the Schertz Clemens ISD or Schertz Cibolo ISD, whatever they're called. So he's been 20 years in that district. So that says a lot, man. So they're excited about what he's going to bring to the table. I think he's fired up. And I was supposed to reach out last Friday. I was supposed to leave a message at the high school to give a callback number to get him on the show this week, and I forgot.
Oh,
I
come
forgot.
on,
So yeah,
come
I
on.
dropped the ball. And I even talked to you about it. I was like, I got to make a phone call. I got to get it, and then I just got tied up. And then the other moves that were going on, Mathis, a little bit of a mess that's going on there in Mathis. Superintendent's on administrative leave. Head coach was dismissed, and I think their job just closed out last Friday. I don't know how many applicants they got in, or if or what, but that job is out there right now. And
You're supposed to back
Beeville.
to Mathis.
Those are back to
get,
Mathis.
get that going right.
I don't know, and maybe you guys, if there's some coaches in here, maybe you will answer this. Or do you take a job where you're unsure of who your administrator is going to be? Because they don't know what they're going to do with that administrator yet. They're
I
still
think we're the state that Mathis is in right now. If you were to land, and this is hypothetical, but if you could land a dude like Chris Sosa, who already likes
who
to,
took your team to state
yeah,
in what was
who
it,
already,
2000?
yeah, who likes to kind of, he likes to be the shot caller over administration, dude. Hire him and then find an administration that's willing to let that work because it's been a pretty big struggle for Mathis since we've started this show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's been a
yeah,
minute. It's been a minute since there's been some real success there, and that's not saying that Mathis can't have it because they have. Early 2000s, I remember Mathis and Sinton games were like a big deal back then, and who knows? Chris needs a job,
yeah.
maybe.
I think I think we got our guy in the waiting room here. I think. Hang on. Let me see. Let me see. Keep your thought. I'm gonna message real quick. Keep going. Keep going. Come on.
Well, I mean, I'm politician for Chris Sosa to go back to Mathis. All right, I want to see it happen. I'm going to screw some of these comments. Younger Sosa will throw the ball more. Don't forget he's a quarterback. Quarterbacks want to throw the ball. Absolutely, I do agree with that. I think Chris threw the ball substantially more than what people give him credit for. I agree with Sergio on that one. Don't be surprised if Chris Sosa comes back to help out Eric and Rockport. Could definitely see that as well. Callahan scheduled a school for the blind. Jesus. Lavelle's back, right? Lavelle's in full
Oh,
force.
he's in a dude.
Watching the shows and actually commenting finally. I like it.
He was chirping
Uh,
up last week because he was like, "When are we going to get rid of this baseball season so we can start the real South Texas sport?" He was
oh,
going back and forth with some guy on baseball playoffs and whatnot. But I get it. It is not our guy in here, but we will. Let's jump to our news. All right, we got a couple of guys here that are going to help break our news, and it's kind of a big deal, right? Right.
yes.
It's a big deal for the show. It's a
Big number
big
South
deal
Texas.
for Coastal Bend football, really. We're gonna welcome in Zach Solis and Brian Williford from Williford Chevrolet. Gentlemen, how are you guys?
Man,
Good,
that's
good, great.
So we appreciate you guys taking the time. We know it's a random Tuesday in May, and it's 8 o'clock at night. So we appreciate you guys taking the time out to come on the show and kind of break our news for us.
man to talk high school football. No matter what time it is, man. I'm ready, guys. I got my two hats ready. I mean, let's go.
That's
Oh
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yeah.
that's kind of
Oh,
sacrilegious, isn't it? Having those two in the same house, especially with the game coming back this year, right? After Justin, how long has it been? We talked about it last time. It's
I think
20, close to 20 years, right?
about 17, 18 years. Yeah.
Wow, it's been
yeah.
that
It's been a while. And like you were saying, we're super excited for this opportunity to work with y'all and
long. Oh, big
hopefully
time.
make that week of just a spectacular event. Awesome for our communities. We're super excited for it. The Sinton GP rivalry. We hope it's
Battle of
back
Wayne
and
Game
here.
One, baby.
Yeah, we're hope it's back in it, and we hope it's here to stay. We were
Yes.
so excited. I saw your post and I reached out to you. Saying like we want to be a part of it. Because they are. Brian will tell you they're both of our communities, and Brian's diehard. High school football, so I know he's
Oh
excited
man,
about it.
big time. Yeah, I've been known to go. I actually Zach. I answered their email earlier. I told them a couple of years back when I went 2.5 hours one way to see Iowa City and Canadian. Man, Canadian was a bucket list item. I've seen Gilmer. I've seen a lot of bucket list places for me. I like small town 4A, 3A football. That's kind of my heartland, guys.
So a background on these two gentlemen, if you guys are unfamiliar. So Brian's a Sinton graduate.
Not
Um, had a dealership in Sinton, the Al Williford Chevrolet there in Sinton. Your father, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes, sir.
and has the dealership there in Portland. Uh, Zach is the PR sales guy for Williford. Like he said, he reached out to us, and Brian has since moved on. He's up north now. But Zach reached out to us because we've got something up our sleeve for the GP sitting game that we've been working on for a while, and Zach reached out to us with an idea, and we are actually going to host a pregame show there at the dealership, um, sponsored by Al Williford Chevrolet to spotlight this game. We'll do a show earlier in the week, and if we can technically work it out, or like technologically work it out, we may even do a live show pregame at the stadium, um,
Wow.
with some Chevrolet vehicles there in tow. So we're very excited about the opportunity to work with these guys to help promote South Texas athletes, South Texas programs, and give a little shine to these two gentlemen and Chevrolet vehicles.
Sweet.
Yeah, yeah,
Appreciate
for
it very
sure.
much.
It's all about the kids. It's all about getting these small school athletes recognized. We talked about it there at the dealership. Um, and we're just not about. We're not just Portland's and Sinton's dealer. We also got that little town called Taft right in between us that
Yes, sir.
we care about a lot, and Odom as well too. So that I
Yes.
know we had kind of mentioned Taft and Odom game too. But let's see how this Sinton GP one goes.
Yeah.
Which I think
Good.
there's no other way to go but up for this.
Yeah,
When
Yeah.
I mean, Brian will tell you when Troutman released that schedule, I texted him and I was like, "Look at that! This is
Oh man.
crazy. Just the
Yeah.
gauntlet that Sin
Yeah.
has to go through." But we really highlighted that week 4 matchup with Portland. We're super
Yeah.
excited.
And I told Zach, I said, I don't want to hear about the District of Doom anymore with Duncanville and DeSoto and Cedar Hill. I looked at that schedule and went, come on. That is an amazing schedule Troutman put together, but I'm not surprised. I
yeah.
played
We
I,
we
I played with the guy, so I know him.
when we saw it, that was one of the things we were like, look at this, and it was because of realignment and just everybody scrambling, and we talked to Mike about it afterwards. I think we had a show that day. He came on the realignment show right before Coach Cepeda or after. Either way, he was on the realignment show with us, and we talked about it. And he's like, "Man, you you've got to. We ain't scared, just like Lavelle said. He's like, we're not scared.
Dude, if they would let him, he would schedule Duncanville. If he could, he
But
would. He would. I'm telling you, he
hey,
would.
he
Yeah.
believes if you're gonna be the best, you got to play the best. And if you're gonna beat the best, you have to be willing to play the best, and just you have to willing to lay it all out there and see where the cards fall. Play your best football and see what happens.
Hey, and another thing, I'm a Sinton graduate too, and I'm a Sinton boy as well. But I can tell you one thing, working in Portland, and then as soon as Coach Davis stepped in that building,
Oh
the
yeah,
town changed. I felt like,
yes,
I felt like the atmosphere. I felt like now they expected to win. Like I don't know, there was something in the air happened. Something
yes,
changed when he walked into Portland, Texas, and you know, I know me and Brian were saying like we're so happy he did because
big
it
time.
affects everything. It affects the community. It gets people camaraderie. I mean, it's
Well,
just awesome when
It's people out there buying them red and blue trucks.
he's
Yeah,
he's got the perspective of being on both sidelines now after this
yes,
year,
yeah,
right? Because he was a sitting coach there back in the '90s,
yes.
and
yeah. He took
the
Sinton to
late
state.
'90s.
No one.
Yeah, and
2001, man.
now
Gonna
he's
be
going to be on the
better.
GP sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, no. In
Yeah.
fact, I tell you guys that Zach mentioned it's all about the kids. We go to softball games, baseball games, volleyball games, basketball games, and I ran into Coach Davis at a baseball game, GP baseball game when he first came, and I said, "Man, I'm so glad you're here." I said, "Man, GP football is back." Yeah, I said they needed a field general, and you are a field general. And I said, you're going to ruffle some feathers, but I love it. I absolutely love it because that's what this team and what this town needs is because they expect to win. But you've got to have the kids bought in. And man, one of my buddies had a kid on the team and said, yeah, we had like eight guys quit the first day. He took their stuff and took them out of the locker room. Said, you earn your spot. You earn that GP on that helmet. So they start off with white helmets and I love it, man. There's no entitlement. I'm sorry. I'm out on entitlement. So I'm excited.
So, Brian, me and Justin were kind of guessing.
Yeah.
We're guessing you live in Salina, right? Based
Yeah.
on what you said. So,
Yes.
so you've seen that up there, and you've seen down here. What and the talk is why is the gap so large? Between South Texas and North Texas.
Well,
You've been around both footballs. I mean, what are your thoughts?
okay. Well, I appreciate you asking that. So, you always hear about the DFW football is just different. And, you say, well, okay, yeah, some of that, is being a South Texas kid and being proud and playing small ball and those types of things. Some of it, is this really hype? And I'll just tell y'all, so we live on the Salina Prosper border. So it's kind of weird here. We're in Salina, but we're in Prosper School District. And when we came up here, my son's sophomore year, I went out the first day of workouts and I saw that sea of kids and I saw all these dudes. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, my son is a little fish in a real big pond. And I never will forget the first day Brandon came home. Brandon's a pretty big kid. Zach will tell you that. He had a really good career at Prosper. And he came home and he says, Dad, what did we do? I don't know what I'm going to do. He's like, how in the world, Dad? What? He was so just shell shocked, And I just told him, I said, hey, your papa always said an old saying of his, you can either get over it or you can get under it. Are you going to hide or are you going to rise? I said, you got to go out there and you got to do something different. You got to go out there and stand out and you got to show. And I tell you guys, they didn't fool around. His first game, he started on JV. They played South Lake Carroll in South Lake Carroll. And I'm like, if this is the JV, what does the varsity look like? I mean, it was the speed and the size and the technique. And he really took him a little bit to adjust to the speed of the game. But once he did, he fit right in. And it was a fun time watching that, seeing the different dynamic between DFW and South Texas football.
Quite frankly, that goes hand in hand. So Jacob knows this. I make a trip now. My brother-in-law, then they live out in Lindale, so I make a trip out there to East Texas, and we did a Gilmer and Lindale game 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And first play of the game, Gilmer, I was excited because I'd never seen Gilmer live. It's a bucket list team for me. And they had a sophomore quarterback, a bunch of sophomores actually. And man, with a freshman a junior running back, and they did a swing pass to the junior running back. I mean, he was gone, 60 yards, boom, fast, like quick, lightning quick. And we have some kids down here with some speed every now and then. But I think when you play and you practice with 30 dudes that are all big, all fast, all strong, like you said, you have to elevate yourself to that standard. That's what I think realistically separates it. And I'm not saying our kids aren't good
Yeah.
down here. It's not fair. But there is something to say. There's a little more speed. There is a little more strength and size up there. And when you're having to go day in, day out with dudes like that, it's going to make you better over time. And yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one right there. You're gonna have to do something to stand out, or you just won't play up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's very
it's
much
different.
more explosive. Yes, definitely explosive. Brandon had never really done much power clean, and that's like Prosper's main lift. And he's like, Dad, we got corners doing 250, and I'm over here like at 180, and I'm a lineman. So he had a lot
Yo,
of catching up to do, and
yep.
he worked his rump off, and he got there. But the explosion of these kids here is just like, gosh, man.
It's crazy. They're strong. They're big and they're
Yeah.
strong, and
You know,
that's the difference.
Yeah.
I think that is too, and I think the weight room too plays a big factor into it. I'm not saying baseball has anything to do with it, you know, but
Well, it could.
I think it does. Really, I think and I'm all for baseball, but I think the year round really eats into that. You should be lifting weights already, but you're playing baseball till the last
Mm-hmm.
week in July.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, when
Yeah.
that weight room is super important.
I think a lot of
Super
people
important.
are ill informed on the weight room too, because there's a lot of baseball dudes that won't lift weights, and
Yeah.
I don't buy into that as much. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out there and press the heaviest weight, but if you're not lifting some weight, you're not building explosion, right? And if you don't have explosion, you don't have speed, you don't have core strength. That if you don't have explosion or core strength, you're not going to be a very productive athlete in any sport you play.
Yeah.
So I think there is I think it's sometimes it might be an excuse of way out. Oh, I can't lift. I'm playing
Look,
baseball.
you
Oh, I
can.
can't go track.
I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a great example on a guy who did both, and he's crushing it right now at the University of Texas, and that's Rylan Galvan.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean,
He
the
was a
kid,
beast, man.
the kid did everything in football. He was their star running back, broke his collarbone even, right, in that playoff game against Wimberley.
Yep.
He missed a couple games in the baseball season, but came back and he's still crushing balls. That guy was committed to Texas as a sophomore,
Sophomore, yeah.
and he was still playing football, lifting weights, doing what he had to do.
All year round too, but he hit the weight room.
Yep.
Yeah, and you could tell.
Difference.
You could
You
tell
have
in
to
his
want
game, in his
to hit the
baseball
weight
game.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to want to. You have to want to. Like, you ever met Rylan Galvan and even his brother Renee? You
Oh,
take
yeah.
those dudes get
Yeah.
maybe 5 hours of sleep minimum. Whatever sport they're in, they put their 2 hours in. They probably put another hour and a half in a weight room. And they probably put another hour watching film or working on something before they do anything else. Like, those dudes are exactly what, if you have a kid in sports, that's what you want your kid to base themselves off of, or have
No,
that kind of mentality. 100%.
Yeah, they're great kids, man. And you shake their heads, and you're just like, oh my goodness, this is
Yeah.
not even a man
They're
yet.
big dudes, man.
you
They
know?
really are.
Yeah.
And man, the way Rylan would run the ball, that was something to see. And I feel like Finn has it again with Derek Garcia. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a beast, man. He's
Yeah.
another good running back through Sinton, another good one. I
They've
just
had a
feel
lot
like
of good
every year.
dudes.
Yeah.
We were
So-
really worried with Sitton last year because they do it every year, and I guess we shouldn't be worried anymore. As they start slow and they just get better as the season went on. And last year, man, they got really good as that season got rolling, and this preseason is going to test them pretty well because these games they have scheduled. But it's going to be a good one, man, this season.
No,
Zach-
it is. It
Well,
is.
Zach will tell you. I don't remember was it right at the end of the last preseason game, Zach? You showed me that video with Troutman after they were kind of beat up and struggled. And you know Troutman, man, I just love the guy. This is where it starts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's like, in other words, hey, all that don't matter. It starts now. This is where the winning begins. And man, he was just driving it. I'm like, dude, let's suit up. I called Zach. I said, man, I want to go suit up for the guy and run through a wall, man.
Yeah, I
Soon
mean,
enough.
we said it all the time. He is actually, and however you feel about Mike is how you feel about Mike, but he is a Texas high school football treasure.
No,
Oh,
he is.
You know,
for
I
sure.
mean,
Without a doubt. And man, he's just a great coach, great man, and he is all about his kids, his
Yep.
football team. Like he is all in about it, and those kids will run through a wall for him, and it's inspiring. You
and
know?
Yes.
he is all about sitting. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
he's from Odom, right? I went to school with
Mhm.
Mike for a couple years while he went to Odom. His dad was a superintendent in Odom,
Yep.
and he went to sitting with his mom. His mom was a teacher over there, and when I last time I saw Mike was in elementary school, and it is not the Mike that emerged out of Sinton High School. 180 of a person, right? And then when Mike got the job, you know, we were one of the first guys that got out there and got an interview with him. I mean, he remembered me right off the bat. He's like, "Are you from Odom?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And we kind of talked about it, and I'm pretty sure you know what happened to his dad. That was my senior year when his dad had that stroke in the stands at the playoffs.
Yes.
That was our playoff game, where pregame he had a stroke. We didn't know what was happening because we were on the field, and this was in '94. And it wasn't until afterwards we found out what was happening. It's the first thing I asked him. I was like, "How's your dad?" And surprised to hear that he was still doing it. You know,
Yeah.
ranching out there in George West, doing what he can with the cows and the hay and whatnot.
Mhm.
So that's good to hear. And being that he's from Sinton and he bleeds that he's all about that never ending nest. How many head coaches do you know that are gonna go get that brand on their arm for good, right? For good.
Yeah.
Dude, I
You
forget
know,
he has that tattoo.
I really see him as one of those staples, like a Danaher, a Chris Souza. I really see that this is just the beginning for him in Sin. I think he's going to be here to coach my kids. When they're
Yeah.
going through high school, like, and that's super exciting. To know that there's someone at the head of the program that literally puts everything into it.
Yeah.
Literally everything into it, and even when my kids are in middle school, like if your boss is, say his middle school coordinator, like how can you not put everything in it if your boss is putting everything in it? So it just waterfalls down, to everything, and I just think it's good. It's good. It's just it's so good for everything. Whether it be for the basketball
Yes.
program, the baseball program, the girls basketball program. And I really like that he is down to hire, people from within the program and promote from within. I know Ashley Hesseltime's now the head girls
Yep.
basketball coach. That's super cool, man. I went to school with her. She was a stud. And, who else to try to get more banners on that wall for, our girls basketball team. It's just
Yep.
exciting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So one of the other things before we go, because we're at 43 minutes, we usually don't like these to go very long, but one of the other things that we want to mention that we're working on with these two is, and I've already reached out to some of you athletic directors, head coaches that are out there. We are actually hosting a preseason kickoff show at the
Yep.
dealership as well, where we'll bring in the head football coach, a couple athletes, and we're going to do one-on-ones, and we'll do it for the Coastal Bend region. I think right now we've got Gregory Portland's in, Cal Allen's in, Taft is in, Odom's in, Sitton's in, Rockport is in,
Rockport was in.
Miller is in, Carroll is in, Orange Grove will be in, Bishop is in, Kingsville is in. We're gonna get you guys a lot of heads in that dealership. Hopefully, sell you guys some cars.
That sounds great. If we just talk football, that's great. We sell cars and talk football. That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, guys, we appreciate you guys giving this opportunity to use your platform to again help promote these South Texas athletes in these South Texas programs.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah. And just a heads up, we are having a celebrating or Brian will tell you what we got going on in the next couple
we're celebrating 40 years in business. I know my screen froze. I'm in some goofy picture of me laughing. I hope that wish that thing.
Nope, you're moving. You're moving.
Good to go.
Oh, good. Okay, so I looked at my cat. Bullet Chevrolet since 1984. So we're in our 40th year of business. God's been so good to us. And on the 7th of June from 11 to 2 p.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., we're going to have a 40th celebration. I'm excited. My wife and 2 kids are coming. It's going to be a great time. And what we're doing an old school. I'm an old school guy. Zach will tell you. We're doing hot dogs, baseball, apple pie, and Chevrolet. We're actually going to have some of our partners, GM Financial. They're going to be donating apple pies, and we're going to be doing hot dogs. And actually, Zach's reaching out. We're going to invite the Gregory Portland baseball and softball teams, and of course, we sell Chevrolet, so we've kind of got the business, kind of got that part covered. It's just going to be a fun time just to come and go and chat and mingle and shake hands, love necks, and just have some food and some fun and some fellowship, man.
But yeah,
And,
so
and,
definitely.
and this, so I'm gonna throw a plug for you guys right now as well. I mean, interest rates are so high right now. They are so high right now in vehicles, but GM's got a great program going on right now. Guys, it'll be worth the trip over the bridge to go see these guys and see what they can. If you're looking, or even if you're not looking, you'd be surprised what you get stuck into. Always.
I'm not gonna go there that day. I'm sorry. My wife will kill me if I come home with another vehicle.
Hey, well, if y'all just want to have lunch on us, y'all come by and see us that day. We'll definitely
man.
appreciate it.
Heck yeah, man! I'm all about that. It's just gonna be a lot of fun, and yeah, we're just excited. We got a great staff of people. We've got a great product, and we just kind of got it all. And one thing we offer that a lot of the guys, as you look around you, our business has become about conglomeration and big corporations. And It's not a whole lot of us small town family-owned stores left, and it's just a little bit different when you do business that way in the small town service and the relationships. Cars are just metal and plastic and glass and fiberglass. It's all about relationships, and so I've been here 40 years, just doing things right. And like Coach Davenport used to always say, do the little things right, the big things take care of themselves, and we try to live by that.
That's another good one, Coach Gary Davenport.
He was. Yes, he was.
Guys, I think that's about all the time we've got. But again, guys, we appreciate you guys coming on. We appreciate the opportunity to allow us to shine and to help promote your brand. We appreciate it.
You have to dig more into Brian's brain, man. I didn't realize we had a big football junkie out there in the DFW area. I like it.
So I hope that podcast subscription jumps up to 3 this season, being this the third one that you're subscribing to. I mean, you got to stay plugged into what's going on down here.
Yeah. So I do Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tip and Step, and I listen to that. And then my son, which I can't wait for y'all to meet Brandon. Zach will tell you he's a race fanatic, just like his daddy. He got me into TNG, Tradition Never Graduate, which is a 6A podcast. And these 2 dudes, man, they're just nerds, and they have this thing called an ELO model, and they developed it. I guess they're some kind of engineer kind of guy, a whole lot smarter than I am, and it's crazy how accurate they are with that ELO model, man. It's just it's pretty scary.
Yeah,
how accurate they are. I mean, they just they're just super nerds. They're not very entertaining, guys. So you just listen for the content. If you want to get entertained, Tep and Step, it's hard to beat, man. But those guys are just so informative, and it zooms into 6A, and you just get a little more of a deep dive.
Yeah.
Man,
I think when we started, I think they reached out to us. I think when we first started. I think, but this was back in 2018 when we first started the show. We weren't always doing video. We did audio only, the traditional podcast. But we were doing it very guerrilla style as well. Justin
warfare,
many times. We work at the plants out here, Brian. So we work shift work. So we'd roll off a night shift at 5 a.m. and head over to this guy's house and record from 5 a.m. till 7 a.m. and then go home. And we were editing at the time.
We're doing 2 shows a week.
Yeah, we were doing 2 shows a week. We'd do a Monday morning show and a Thursday show. And and then COVID happened and we switched to this platform. And it allowed us to actually
Expand a lot more.
expand the show, because we could
Right-
see you
right
guys
here
that we're
wouldn't
talking
happen
to.
the traditional way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you get TNG on Spotify. So if you guys have Spotify, you can just do Tradition Never Graduates and subscribe to it.
What we need to do is get TNG playing that model.
Yeah.
Hey, that would be awesome. I really, really would. I would love to do that. When I first started listening, I thought to my son, I told my son, I said, Brandon, these guys are boring as sin, man. I don't know if I can get through this. He's like, Dad, give it a chance. And as I started listening, he says, give it a chance and look at the accuracy. And then I started kind of keeping track, and I'm like, kind of charting it. I'm like, oh my gosh, these dudes know what they're doing. They know, and I'd be interested to know how that model works too, because I'm sure it's some crazy complex algorithm that's way over my head. But
Yeah.
they're bright guys, and as you kind of get to know the dry sense of humor type thing, they really are entertaining, and they've actually expanded. They were DFW exclusively, and now they've got some friend or partner that's in the Houston area. So, like this past season, they actually brought in a lot of the Houston schools. So that was kind of fun because of Atascocita, North Shore, and
Yeah.
those are like huge battles. And Katy, and of course, Katy has her own thinking district with
Yeah.
Tompkins and all those guys, and it just kind of brought in a different perspective. And they kind of compared kind of DFW to Houston. They did a lot of stats on that as well. It was kind of interesting on how the pendulum has really swung more than what people think, because the competitiveness there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
I'm
it's
about
been
to listen to it.
interesting.
I'm gonna listen to it now.
Yeah. One more add-on. I listen to podcasts all the time, so it's just one more thing I can listen to. My wife probably hates it, but we're going on a big road trip this summer. But so it'll give me plenty of time to catch up while they're sleeping. I'm driving.
Well, I've never been a podcast guy, but I walk my dog and usually go for about an hour and 15-minute walk with her.
Yeah.
And I just listen to it during then. It's just a great way to kind of get away and get my mind away from the car business just for a little bit and kind of enjoy it, outdoors and stuff. So that's kind of when I do it.
Yeah, I'm doing everything. I just did the floors in my daughter's bedroom. So that's all I've had. A podcast. I had my phone sitting in there just playing podcast after podcast after podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of useless information up here, Brian. Lots of it.
My podcast fanatic. Every time I get in her car, she's got some podcast. A lot of it's Dateline murder mystery.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, 100%. My wife's the same way. I wonder if we should start worrying about that kind of stuff. When is the line that you start worrying about that? When it's all nothing but true crime and true crime and true crime? Do you got to wonder, like, there may be something more to this than just listening. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Whatever.
I guess
My wife's watching. I may get
it. And like Zach will tell you, his is a silent type. You got to watch those. My wife's just a sassy Cajun, so.
My wife's crazy, but I love her.
Veronica's crazy.
Guys,
I had a blast, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. We'd love to have you guys on later on the season again. So again, week four, we will be at the dealership, setting up, and we've got some ideas. We've talked with Zach offline on how we want to make this things happen. We have a big image in our head, so we've got a producer lined up that's going to help us out there. And we've got pretty good ideas. It's going to be big, man. It's going to be a big one. And then we're really excited for this preseason kickoff show. It's going to get us in the hands of coaches we haven't been able to contact yet.
That's great.
So it's definitely building bridges for us. And again, hopefully to snag you guys a few more customers.
Great. And I want to also let you guys know I'm in the office about every other week, and I send out a manager's schedule when I book. Hey guys, I will gladly offer my time to you guys. And Zach has my schedule, and he'll tell you the office days that I'm in the office. And if there's anything that I can help y'all with during that time while I'm in the office, I'll be glad to help. I mean, this is a partnership, and anything I can do, I want to do it.
Sounds good. Guys, again, we appreciate the time. Guys, we appreciate you guys watching. We got 90 heads in here today, man. So that's going to be a good one.
Fantastic, man.
So guys, everybody's going back and forth with Lavelle here in the comments. Keep it going, champ. Keep it going. They got him up on the ropes, dude. I think I saw that Clay Sherman popped out. He's a big Cal Allen
Keep swinging, Lavelle. Keep swinging.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too, guys. We appreciate you guys coming on.
We're talking to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Yep. All right, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. And keep looking out, man. As it gets closer, we're thinking late April or late August or late July, early August. to get this preseason show kicked off. It's going to be a good one, man. We're going to have these. We're going to have a couple coaches out there, a couple athletes out there. They're going to be out there in uniforms. Probably get a couple cheerleaders out there. It's going to be a big event, man. And we plan on having this for a couple days at a time. We don't want to jam everybody up into a day. We'll do a 3A show, a 4A show, and a 5A show, and we'll go with that way. And dude, believe it or not, we really don't have a whole lot of teams here. You know,
Yeah,
if you really think about it, we really don't have a whole lot. Oh, and Alice is in as well. You know, I reached out to Coach Castellano; they're going to be in as well. So it's gonna be a big one, dude. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be good. We're really excited. We're fired up. Going into season 8, 7,
Yep.
7, season 7,
No, it's
8.
well, yeah, season 7.
I think it's season 7. Going into season 7, man, and just cruising, man. And I want to say thank you again to Elite Tank Solutions. If you guys didn't see the post earlier in the week or last week, we got the Player of the Week awards in this year. We went with a Texas Tech throwback theme with the black and whites, or the red and black stripes, and the red and white logo. Pretty
Love
sharp helmets. First one to go out week 1, guys. Well, who's going to be week 1?
I don't know.
Could be anybody. A lot of big games week 1.
I'm gonna put a challenge out there for all the grandmas and the moms. Me and Jacob can eat every single enchilada they bring to that show.
Hey, but we will say right now, we know where we will be for week 1. We will be at GP Cal Allen week 1, because that's what's kicking the season off. Right out the gate, man. I mean, it's going to punch you in the throat.
It's awesome. Right out the gate, we get to smash Cal Allen. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Welcome forward, Coach.
Yeah. So we've kind of just, there's so many big games this season, this preseason, because of the scheduling that came out. Sitton's got a lot of them. Cuero's back in the area as a district foe. They've got some big games. They're playing Harlingen this season, which you're never going to see that matchup again. San Benito's playing Austin Westlake. Miller's playing DeSoto.
That's a good year. This is a great year for the high school football fanatic. Really is.
I mean, man, they're just so many good games. We're just like, you know, Brian said, you know, we're actually thinking about making some road trips. You know, we've talked about all the time that Justin's from Columbus originally. Columbus is probably a preseason favorite to win state this year. We're looking at going up to Columbus for a game. So
definitely number 1 quarterback in the state.
Yep, Adam Schobel.
Who just went to Oklahoma State the other day.
We're hearing they may throw a parade because Justin's coming back into town, but we don't know if that's really true or not, but that's what they're saying.
It needs to happen.
So we're thinking about going to Columbus this year. I don't know, man. We're just kind of opening up a little bit this year. We're kind of going willy-nilly. We're not on shift work for a while anymore, so it definitely frees up Friday nights right now. Kind of, sort of, right? Kind of, sort of. But I mean, it's not. We're not working nights.
We don't got to go in Saturday morning for sure, so you can make a trip.
Yeah. So I mean, we have to stay the night somewhere. We have to stay the night somewhere. See, I could easily turn that Columbus trip into a trip to Brenham, you know, and get 100% buy off from the wife. You know, like I
honestly might take my family to that one. My wife and them have never seen a Columbus Cardinal game.
Have they seen Columbus?
But we've been to Columbus to eat at Schobel's.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done that. I bought a truck from the Columbus Ford before, so we've been. But like the boys they've eaten in Schobel's, and you know Ace is a fanatic. He's seen the red helmets with the white C's, you know, and he'll ask about it. And I have some Columbus footballs at the house from when I was a kid that he plays with. But I don't know. I think that'd be a cool one. Like a little going back party. One of my childhood best friends is on the coaching staff. Which is weird. We lost connection from that point. So I honestly need to try to reach out and see if his dad was the head coach when I was there. So reach out if I can reconnect with that dude and whatnot. Obviously,
get that parade started.
Obviously, we'll get in with Grove, get to Schobel. That's an easy one.
Well, Grove's going to be coaching. He coaches at CE King. So
but Grove can make the connection to the Schobel.
Gotcha. Yeah,
the instant, boom, there you go.
Yeah.
He played with the Schobel, so I think it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. And I think he's got a ring, doesn't he? Right? He won with the Broncos, right?
I thought he won it with the Colts, but I might be wrong. There was 3 Schobels in the NFL. One played with the Bills, one played with the Colts. The other one I think played with the Broncos. I can't remember though. 2 brothers and a cousin.
I thought it was someone that played for the Broncos that's coaching there because going back to Friday Night Tykes, he came out on an episode of Friday Night Tykes.
Did he really?
Yeah, he just as randomly he came out and talked to the junior team, the Brandeis junior team. I think the Broncos. Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah,
Wow.
dude, I tell you, I was just gonna tell Brian, a head full of useless information, dude. Like who knows that? Like,
You.
yeah, me, me.
I do know the guy that coached the Brandeis Broncos got a divorce over being a youth football coach without a killing team. So remember
That
that
was the
episode?
guy. That was the guy on there. Yeah,
That was the guy, dude.
yeah, yeah. That's
Chose,
the guy that.
chose
I,
youth football over his family.
yeah, yeah. All right, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. We're kind of just meandering, lingering along, and nobody's really
I want
commenting
to see
here.
if Lavelle's gonna keep throwing punches.
I think he punched out. But again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you when we see you.